guys, it's me, Donna Blay. Those of you who don't know me yet, here in my channel, I share about our lifestyle here in Australia with my family. At the same time, I also share my epiphanies, my aha moments, my breakthroughs, my fuck-ups in life. Oh my gosh, I have a very surprising epiphany for today. It started yesterday when I talked to one of my closest friends told me that her son is currently having a very painful experience. Her son is having his first heartbreak. You know, he was so in love with his partner, and then suddenly the partner cheated. And so, you know, looking back at my experiences, I was like, oh my gosh, I really remember those times. This vlog is actually based on that. I also got cheated on, and it's a different kind of pain, guys. Oh my gosh, physical pain in here in the heart, and I'm not kidding. I actually went in it was one of the very dark phases of my life because of that pain I felt every day. I wanted to really end it, so I had to call my mom, and I told my mom, I need help. And I don't usually do that. I am usually a very strong-minded and emotionally strong kind of person. When I asked my mom for help, she actually flew from our hometown to where I was living at the time. You know, when I was still a student at the university, the best thing my mom did, honestly, was just to not say anything, just be there with me. And she just let me have, you know, cry on her shoulders. And when she told me, well, what do you really want, kids, you know, what does your heart tells you? At that time, I wanted to get back to my boyfriend. So we got back together, and eventually I said, no, I can't, because it's, you know, when the damage there, sometimes it's very irreparable. I'm not saying that, you know, everybody has the same feelings as me, but that's what happened to me. Like, I tried going back to the person who cheated. I just couldn't. In this vlog, I'm not gonna tell you how the cheater cheated and how it happened, but the most important thing, it's gonna help most of you who are not healed yet. Honestly speaking, it was so long ago when I was 21 years old, when it first happened to me, when my whole world came crashing down, and I already made future with this man. We already have names for our first kid, second kid, and our pet, future pet, and then it disappeared after the cheating. Now that I'm talking to you, I say that it has come full circle, that trauma, because listening to my friend's son's problem, just like, oh my gosh, if my ex-boyfriend, guys, didn't cheat, I wouldn't feel how it felt like, right? And so by feeling what it felt like before, it will help me now to always have second thoughts. If there will come a time when I get tempted, are you willing to hurt somebody that way? That was the biggest lesson I learned from that experience. And so I was talking to my close friend, right? And I told her, because she's undergone the same thing, we had both shared these epiphanies, like, oh my gosh, yeah, we remember those times, and wow, too painful. But the lesson you learned from it, it was pure gold. How that trauma taught me and helped my life right now. As what I've told you, my friend's son, what he was feeling now, I can really relate to what I used to feel, you know. There are lots of questions like, how could it happen to you? Like, what did you do wrong? And sometimes, guys, people cheat for a lot of reasons, and usually the cheater is always the culprit, right? Like, you cheated, so it's your fault. I used to have a blog that talked about Why cheaters cheat? One relationship expert, she's called the Hollywood best therapist. Her name is Afterall, and she's always touring around the world about relationships and about the cheating issues. She really opened my eyes to the world of cheating, and it's not always one side. There are 3 reasons why people cheat. 1, because they want to get out of the relationship. 2, they want to stay in the relationship, so that's why they had to fill up that empty love cup. And number 3 is they have a personal issue that has nothing to do with the partner. Like, you could be the perfect partner in the world, your partner will still cheat because they have unresolved issues, personal issues that you're not a part of. The cheater has an undergoing issue or had an unprocessed pain, or they have personal issues with themselves. That's why they cheated. And so once you know these things, sometimes you will understand, if you're very objective, if your partner cheated, right? So you want to know why. And sometimes it's not necessarily your fault. And sometimes people need to fail a lot of times to know who they are and who they are not. And thanks to that person who cheated, when we were together, when I was in the university, I thought we were gonna get married. I thought he was the one, but because of that cheating, so that means to say he was not the one. But after 20 years, I said I came to the full circle of it, because when I was dating my husband now, there was a time when there was signs and symptoms that I have trauma from relationships, because people in my past cheated. And so I blurted out one day to my husband now, when we were still dating that. Well, at first we were best friends, me and my husband. We didn't date right then and there because I was with somebody then when we met. So we were so open. We were so honest with each other. And so I said to him, why is it with men that you just can't stop cheating? And you know what my husband told me? That's very unfair of you to say that. What if I'll tell you all women cheat? And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so right. I can't do that to a partner, so why would I judge other people like that? It was like a realization that, oh my gosh, something's wrong with the way I think. So now, more than 20 years later, and experiencing what my close friend is experiencing, it was like, wow. That was just one confirmation how traumatized I was and how unhealed I was with my experience. The second one was when I became friends again with an ex-partner too. And I had an issue when we were dating, and because I distrust men generally, when we were dating, I actually thought that he also cheated. But when we became friends, I asked him, did you cheat when we were dating? And he said, no, I didn't cheat. I didn't sleep with anyone while we were still together. I can still remember when we had that conversation. I was inside the bus, and oh my gosh, it's like a pail of cold water all throughout my body. And I knew he was telling the truth at that time. And I was like, oh my freaking gosh, I was so broken. I felt like all these years, guys, I had this hatred with this man, right? And it was never true. It was like I concocted my own narrative that this person will cheat because he looks like, my dream man. He's so handsome, and all handsome men, all men will cheat. My ex-boyfriend, the one who cheated, is also handsome, and so I thought all handsome men will cheat. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing and shameful. Once you have an epiphany like that, like a light bulb moment, guys, it is shocking, but then again, it's one step forward for you to heal. When you know how fucked up you are, then you know that it's time to heal. It's it's good news. And I was a little bit ashamed that I judged him according to my past. That was the second sign that told me that I was so traumatized and still unhealed. And now that I think about it, it's like, okay, because of my therapy, I know now where I've gone wrong. I know now about my thought patterns and how unhealthy my thought patterns are. And it's actually helping me, heal it now with my husband. And there are negative patterns in our lives, especially when you are constantly provided with a negative evidence. For me, for example, that your partner will cheat. It's like, even if your partner right now is not cheating, it's like he's paying for the past mistakes of your other partners, and it's so unfair, isn't it? So this is just my thoughts for today, and how everything became a full circle because I've learned about my past and how I should heal it. As long as we decide to just figure out where we've gone wrong and just say, okay, I was traumatized. My thought patterns were incorrect and very unhealthy. And it's a first or second step to healing. And I hope you learned something from my epiphany today, as I have. And I'm so happy I have gone through my full circle of healing. And I wish that for you too, Soul Tribes. Light and love. Mwah. I think if we have something to share based from our own experiences, especially if it's from, therapists and professionals, I feel like it needs to be shared because a lot of people who might be afraid to go to the professionals, especially those with trauma. I am a trauma survivor. I feel like a lot of people are suffering because they think they're alone, but actually no. Trauma is common. Most of us have undergone different types of trauma. And you might find my stories here very relatable. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Because ever since I had therapy, guys, when you have therapy, you will realize a lot of things. And see, therapists are just either from psychologists. It's not psychiatrists. Psychiatrists are those who have really have mental issues like schizophrenia, like the really, really serious ones. Those with multiple personality disorders and the serious mental diseases, that's for psychiatrists. And it's different from therapists. With psychologists or probably life coach or spiritual coach, something like that, it is a kind of therapy where it deals with trauma and it needs therapy. People with trauma needs therapy, needs professional, needs people who really knows what they're talking about. And I am not a professional, but I am a personal development enthusiast, which means that whatever I learn from the advisors that I follow, I share it with you because there's a lot of different types of learning, guys. And sometimes even if, we can resonate to other people more than some people. Others with the way you look, with the way you sound, with the way you approach things, or the way you carry yourself. It depends on, we can resonate to the people we're listening to. So I am not actually forcing everybody to listen to me. I might be annoying to some to listen to or to look at. I don't know what's the reason, but I just wish that whoever is watching these vlogs or my vlogs in my channel, I hope they can resonate with my stories, and I just feel like I can help. Please like and share if you find this vlog helpful. Light and love.